We all lend a hand. The only thing we have to do is put it in our minds. Surely things will work out. They do it every time. The world won't get no better if we just let it be. Na 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 na. The world won't get no better. We gotta change it, just you and me. You are tuned in to the WVON Morning Show. It's your man, Maze Jackson, with my main man, Charles Thomas. Good morning, everybody. How you feeling this morning, Charles? Hey, man, what you...
Hey, man, revving the engine.
I was like, what was that?
We got a lot of stuff going on, man.
Hey, man.
Trying to get ready.
I was like,
you know, I was a little nipply this morning.
Did you say nipply?
Nipply.
Oh my goodness, the morning show, boy, oh boy, we are starting off with a bang. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the WVON Morning Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. I want to tell you good morning. Are you on your way to work? Are you on your way? You shaking and waking those kids up on the way to school? Well, we are here to get you going every day. Could not do the WVON Morning Show without the morning show team. Gotta say what's up, good morning to Annette Flournoy in the newsroom. How you feeling today? I see you shaking.
I'm feeling fine. You know, I'm excited. Hey, are we pulling our money together for this $700 million jackpot?
I got
$700 million.
I got my ticket.
I got my dollar.
I got my ticket.
You know, the man brought us some tickets this morning out in the suburbs.
You know what?
No, we good to go.
You know what? The man came in here, you know, he told me this morning, he came in, he bust through the door, he said, Maze, I'm feeling inspired today. So not only did I come in here, now Charles, you know, he picked us up some ruby red squirt. Now he was in Will County.
Yeah.
So he picked us up cans of ruby red squirt.
Tax free.
No pop tax. And then, Charles, he also brought us a Powerball ticket. Now, you know, I don't trust Powerball tickets bought within the city limits.
I don't either.
You know, ever since they took policy away, they made sure black people was going to spend that money, but they wasn't going to win it back. But he brought this from way out in Plainfield.
Oh, man, the man. I'll tell you, the man.
That made you using a word. It's kind of legal. You said us.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
Right?
Oh, check this out.
And
I win.
Sonia.
I win
Charles.
This. We all win.
Right.
We all win. Definitely, absolutely.
We all win. We all win with these teams. You know, we're going to talk about this lotto, man. I mean, this Powerball.
Melody going to win, too, because I'm going to buy this place. I'm going
to buy. I'm buying.
buy the station, man.
You know what?
I'm buying.
I'm out
give to the
You know what? No, hold on, y'all. See, y'all here. Don't bury the lead. That's what they say in the story, right? We're going to come back. We're going to talk about that Powerball. You know what? I think, Charles, we're going to make the Powerball something. Rotate around that for our social media question of the day. We have got a great show for you today. Now, Charles, are you gonna get the fight, the big fight, Mayweather versus McGregor? Are you ordering the fight in your house?
No. I'm gonna see it though. I'm gonna find some place to see it. You ordering it?
I am not ordering it, but I think I am going to a friend's birthday rooftop party to watch it. You know, this fight. You know, you want to get it, but you don't. You don't know how you feel. You know, it's like they hook you and they get you, and it's $125. You know what, Charles? Do you know Sonny Means, our sports reporter? You know, we don't see him very often.
But
he's going to be in today. He is on every day. He's going to be in with us at 8 o'clock. Did you know he used to do ringside play? He used to be at ringside.
That's why I want to hear from Sonny Means, man. Give me the news. I mean, I got my own feelings about it, but... Yeah,
Sonny Means, we're going to talk to Sonny Means at 8 o'clock. Don't forget, now, Charles, so much happened yesterday. And in politics, it's so much that I think we're going to save that for the 7 o'clock hour. But, man, did you see Queen Sugar yesterday on Chicago Tonight?
I didn't see it, but I heard about it.
Charles, she told us that the pop industry it targets black and brown kids.
The pop industry is racist?
You know what? Racist. You know what? Remember what? Racial. It's just racial. Everything now seems to be race this, race that, racial. Oh my God, we've been discriminated against. Did you hear Mayor Emanuel told the governor that you got to stand. We can no longer deal with people who will not stand up to racism.
The Reverend Dr. Ram.
No.
Can I get a witness? We shall overcome.
No,
Emmanuel?
You mixing all of them up, man.
Oh.
You got, that's Forrest Claypool.
Oh, that's
This is the wrong father. And he wants every kid to have a future.
And not face racism.
A future.
Yeah. I tell you, everybody, this whole race thing is going to
I want to reach out.
But you know, I don't hear any black people talking about who's...
Charles, and this dang on cartoon is back in the news.
Oh, man,
this cartoon is back in the news. You know, we'll talk about that. I think the theme of this election cycle is going to be everybody over there is racist. No. So you can tell a racist story, but you can actually implement the racism. So we'll talk about that at 7 o'clock. Charles, social media question at 6:20. But did you see your president on the news yesterday, man?
Man, it just seems like he lives for these moments in that it will not stop. The chaos in his administration. What I think, and what I think the majority of Americans think, is presidential. This man has no concept, no clue. He just can't be presidential. He's going to be Trump.
Charles, I'll tell you, man,
and I haven't gotten used to it yet.
I don't know if anybody's gotten used to it. I don't know if anybody's going to get used to it. Is he new normal? Let me tell you this, though. I remember you would see the president on TV and you would just keep changing the channel. Boy, you got reality. You got a reality presidency for real. People watch that stuff. They're like, whoa. I just got to say, hold on. I got to watch this. I got to see what this fool gonna say next. Right? I am just, it is hilarious. Well, it's not actually hilarious. It's actually scary. But who's the one black dude in the background at the Trump rally?
The Trump Blacks for Trump guy?
He is what Todd told us. He was he's Reverend Looney Tunes from some cult. But boy, really, who's the one black dude? Now, can I tell a real experience though, Charles? Can I tell you a real experience about being a black guy at a rally? So, my wife and I, we were at the Hillary Clinton rally in Iowa when it got super close. And so we were just, we were in the VIP area, and all of us, so we were trying to find a spot. Like, we were like, man, where can we find a spot that we might make the TV? But there were people that were there. They were all lined up. They had staked out their spot. They were like, so then two white people come and they grab us and they say, excuse me, you and you, can we move you here? And then they said, wait. So then the people who they moved were like, we've been waiting for this spot. Then they were like, they went and looked in the camera shot, and then they moved us right in the shot. And so he was the guy. I'm thinking, like, it's not just Republicans.
No, everybody does it. In fact, I've been to rallies and arrived there early to do some reporting, and you see the X's on the podium where the black people, where the black people, where the Asian people, where the Latino people are supposed to stand when it happens. We used to joke about it all the time and say, man, when I quit, I think I might go get myself a job being like the designated Negro.
You don't get paid for that.
No, you can. For a Republican, I bet they pay.
Oh, you know what? The job as the what was that you said?
Designated Negro.
The designated Negro. Now, Charles, you just said when you quit, right?
You could have like a company where you could say, hey, I got designated Negroes for all kinds of campaigns all over the country. You just call us, we'll send one. Have Negroes, we'll travel.
Speaking of, so that is a job that you would have. What you would do.
That's what like a post.
Well, you know what? What would you? I was just thinking about this though, Charles. Did you hear that the lotto is $700 million? What would you do with $700 million if you won that lotto? Let's talk about that when we come back after traffic and weather at 6:18 on the Talk Show.
More of the morning show with Maze Jackson.
Sorry, I ran over a little bit on that one. What's up, y'all? How y'all feeling this morning? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope everybody is rocking with us. We are live on Facebook and YouTube, and it looks like everybody is rocking and rolling the same. All right, let's see who we got. What up, Ahmad? What up, Janice? What up, Nate? What up, Erica? Robert Albert Nethry, Nate, the Great Williams, Maurice Wells, Dewan Russell. What's up, Elisa? Felicia Gatewood, Dwayne Champion, Craig Nash, Edward Muhammad, Daryl Wallace, Sadia Hill, Rick Good, Kenneth Elam. What up, Kenny? Keep them trains on time, man. I know, Yolanda. She said nipply outside. That was crazy. Clifton Turner, Felicia Gatewood, Bolingbrook in the building, Alvin Norton. What up, Swizzle? How you feeling, brother? Long time no see, man. Put something on the schedule. Adrian Thomas. Yo, Adrian. Kang Mufasa Red. Now, Eon J. Leverson. Make sure I'm saying that right. Give it to me phonetically. If I got it wrong this time, I'll see it through the comments. What up, Theo? Theo, you need me? Let me know if you need me to put that call in, man. Chima! Kenneth Briscoe, Charlie T, A. Gene Muhammad, Marquin McDonald, Michael Smith. What up, Chris? Opulent Credit Rebuilders. Hey, man, that ain't free no more. Shanika Finley. How's everybody? Also, if you are on YouTube, take a moment and share. Who's rocking with us on YouTube? Good morning, TT. Good morning, Mr. Mugabe. That wouldn't be Robert Mugabe. Bob! What up, Anthony Robinson? If you're on YouTube and you're watching, say something. I'll give you a shout out as well. Join the broadcast. I want you to participate. Everybody take a moment, share the broadcast. Now, if you'll notice in the background, let me move this. Now, if you'll notice in the backdrop, those are two. Hold on, I gotta move it over so you can. There. Okay? All right. So, if you notice in the backdrop, those are sweetened beverages that I did not pay tax on. That is because this ruby red squirt, the man brought. And then that peach snapple came from the brook. We must fight the pop tax.
Hey, just a quick background on this guy, because it's really interesting, the nut job and what he does. This is the guy behind Trump, his background, and some of the weird shit he's been involved in.
Hey man, we got young, youthful listeners.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's because the Rago Babo is listening, so I have to watch my language.
Your language.
Right, my language.
Your lingo-witch.
Can you all take a moment, reach out, share the broadcast? I need that number. If you're on YouTube, the number's up there. If you're on Facebook, the number's up there. And the share button is right there. But if you're on YouTube, the share button is right there too. Right? So you could go there and you could just send out a tweet. Man, social media question of the day. What you doing with that if you win the $700 million Powerball? What you gonna do? I'm buying me an island.
An island?
Yeah. Share. Tweet. The Midas touch. Everything I touch turns to gold. That song is funky, boy. The Midas touch. Everything I touch turns to gold. You are tuned in to the Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I am your host, Maze Jackson. Got my main man, Charles Thomas. Charles, you were talking about the Rent a Negro business before we went to break.
Yeah, Trout-A-Mounts Incorporated.
So, Trout-A-Mounts Incorporated. That is funny.
Yeah.
So, Charles, apparently, if you are curious about the black man behind Donald Trump, his name is actually Michael. He has a title, Michael the Black Man. He is who's better known as Michael Simonette, Michael Woodside, and Michael Israel.
He was the guy with Trump's thing last night.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
According to the Morning Mix, they tell us that he once belonged to a black violent supremacist cult, and he runs a handful of amateur, unintelligible conspiracy websites. He's called Barack Obama the Beast and Hillary Clinton a Ku Klux Klan member. He even says Oprah's the devil.
But it doesn't matter what he says. The point is the black person behind Trump. And Democrats do the same thing. They don't care what you think or what you believe. They just put you out there because they want the world to know in that little shot of who's standing behind you. Those 6, 7 people, they want somebody black back there. And they don't care what you think. It's just what you look like.
They really didn't
ask
ask
me. The better.
At Iowa, they didn't really ask me what I thought. But, Charles, it was pretty cool to be like on CNN. I think I was looking for you, but you was over. I think you was at the Trump rally.
Man, I don't know if they wanted me on, man. They said, nah, I'm going to go with that one, that Maze guy. Yeah, I like him. You know?
Right. He's a lot. He brings out the fullness.
Of
our
of what we're trying to do.
Of what we're trying to communicate. We don't want there to be any ambiguity.
Right.
So, Charles, hey, man, you ever wonder what it would be like if you actually won the Powerball?
I would, well, I would, like I said earlier, I would love to, I'd make Melody Span Cooper a very wealthy woman. I'd offer her what she wanted for WVON because I know this place could make such a difference. But you know what I'd do with the rest of it?
What?
And my wife and I have talked about it.
Really?
We'd give it away. We would give it away. Because all that money ain't going to do nothing. If you try to spend it on yourself, it's going to do nothing but ruin your life.
Hey, man.
We'd give it away. We'd have a ball giving it away.
You know what, Charles? I would too. Because I would be giving it away to the Rolls Royce dealer. I would be giving it away to Learjet. You know what? But let me tell you, if I could find a black-owned helicopter manufacturer or a salesman, I would buy my helicopter a jet from him. But boy, I'm telling you, you know what I would do? I think, Charles, if I won the $700 million, I think I would pay the pop tax for everybody for 1 year.
I wouldn't, man. That would get these people off the hook, man. These taxes, spenders, man. I wouldn't do that.
I would, and then I would run and repeal it. See, so Charles, but $700 million. So WVON listeners, we always have a tense social media question. Let's lighten it up just a little bit, or let's have a little fun with it, right? What would you do if you won the Powerball for $700 million? Now, you got to give $350 of it to the tax man. So that's going to leave you with $350 million. Charles, you said you would give it away.
I'd give it away, without a doubt. No doubt. Oh, man. And have a ball doing it, man. Feel so great about it. Oh.
Charles.
First, I'd give 10 to the Reverend.
To the Reverend?
No, I'd give it to God, man. Through the Reverend.
So wait a minute, how much?
I get my 10%.
So can I ask when you get your 10%?
All the time. Always
you
get
gave
my 10%.
So when you give him that $350, that mean that $35 million?
There would be if I had 300. If I had 350 million, $35 million would definitely go to God. It definitely would, without a doubt. I'd tithe it.
Would you be mad though if your pastor next week came back?
That ain't on me. I ain't gonna be mad at him. The one that's gonna be mad at him, he gonna worry about me. I ain't mad at nobody, man. Because like I said, I'm giving the rest of it away. I'm giving it away, without a doubt.
Hey man, I'm giving it away after I pay for
Y'all can look me up too.
I'll pay some bills. I'm gonna pay some bills first.
I see people here on Facebook saying, "Well, look me up, Charles. If you're giving it away, hey, look me up if I get it."
Let me tell you, I know what it's like to have $500 and people trying to chase you down. Can you imagine what it would be like with $700 million? So WVON listeners, you out there riding in your car, you're listening. Think about it. What would you do with $700 million if you won the Powerball? Give us a call, 773-591-1690. Post to Facebook or tweet. It is the social media question of the day. What are you doing if you win the Powerball for $700 million? We'll be back after news, traffic, and weather.
Live from the WVON newsroom, here's our news now.
All right, what you doing with $700 million, y'all? Come on now. Somebody got to have some. Dennis Evans, what you doing with $700 million? You know Dennis got something smart to say.
Man, you have a wonderful time giving the money away.
Right, because I would be giving it away.
Time, man. You spend the rest of your life, man, as a philanthropist, just picking causes and giving people, feeding people, man, clothing people, helping kids with school. Yeah, at the end of it, you wouldn't have. I'd want to give away the last dollar on my last day. Definitely. That would be the goal.
Well, how much you giving your kids? How much you giving your kids?
I'd give my kids, without a doubt. I'd give my grandkids. I would be giving it away. I'd be giving it away.
Let's do it. Oh, Todd, what's up, man? Social media question of the day. Man, I don't know. First of all, Todd, thank you.
You're welcome.
Todd, you stopped in on your way and got us this Powerball ticket, which got me to thinking, man, what if I actually won? So the social media question of the day is, what are you doing if you win the $700 million Powerball? Man, I think, man, I'm buying an island, a jet, and a helicopter. I think I'm going to get servants, too. I just haven't figured out if they're going to be black or white yet. Right? Give us a call, 773-591-1690. Post to Facebook or a tweet, and we will get your comments on the air. Yeah, man, I'm getting me some servants, too.
Hey,
You gotta get security. You gotta get security.
All right, security, too.
That's right. You're gonna need security.
You're definitely going to need
Because
I already need security half the time.
There's three lotto stories that I think of. One is the guy from Virginia who, like, everything went wrong in his life. He lost all that money. His kid got kidnapped.
Damn.
You know, he got involved in some kind of murder plot.
What?
You know this guy from Virginia?
No.
There's this sister from the South. She won all these millions. Her pastor sued her. She's got
Pastor sued.
Yeah, because she said that she was going to give money to the church, and she gave money to the church, but he wanted more. Her boyfriend, she spent like $11 million on lawyer fees keeping him out of jail. You remember this story?
I remember hearing.
Yes.
Let me tell you.
She's in the news.
You got about $750,000 worth of legal bills. After that, my brother, you on your own. $11 million. Oh no, I love you, but I can rebuild. with $300 million, I can rebuild.
And then there's the guy who won. He gets on TV and they say, "What are you going to do with it?" And he says, "What do you say? Cocaine and hookers." He was just joking, but when he got on TV, everybody just kind of went into shock, you know? That was like 10, 12 years ago.
Hey, y'all, take a moment, share the broadcast if you don't mind. If you are on YouTube, do you mind taking a moment to reach over and like the broadcast? Hit the thumbs up for us. Keep me up to date if we have any trolls over there as well. Ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned in to the Talk Chicago. Let's see who we got, who has joined in with the show. James Washington. John Rembert. What up, Shanika Finley? Robert Ward. Robert Ward said he'll buy a Net Flournoy a house. 7 business vehicles, 7 more than 7 more. Kang, you always on it. You'll be traveling. Where you going, twin? What will a black person do if you watch The Lottery Change My Life? You see black people every 20th episode. buy me a seat at WSOP. What's WSOP, Nate? Yeah, it's probably something simple, but I can't think right now. What up, Kenneth Briscoe? You open up a trade school, Terrell? Terrell Barnes, I'm with you. $1 million would go to the revenge fund off the top. I will hire a minister of payback. Yes, Terrell. Terrell, I'm reading that. That's great. That's great. $1 million would go to the revenge fund off top. $1 million.
Payback, the big payback, huh?
Revenge fund. Hire a minister of payback. Oh my God. Damn, Linda. You need some scholarships if you don't win the lotto. Jesus. That's 200 grand. What up, Roy Walker? Oh, John Rember said he'll pay for Queen Sugar to go away. Pay for her retirement. Would you buy her an island? Get money, get money, I get money. Get money. Get money. You wanna sit more on my living room floor? Pay Nintendo with season me, yo. Get up the phone saying Papa not home. Mad head in the moan. Spin my weed, smoke all my weed. Saying B.I.G. You wanna be my main squeeze, baby? When I lick between my knees, baby. Station was all that. Station was all that. Guess you could say you's the one I trusted. Who would ever think that you would spread like mustard? You are tuned in to the Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my main man, Charles Thomas, in the building. Give us a call, 773-591-1690. We are asking the social media question of the day. If you won that Powerball for $700 million, what are you going to do? Charles, you said you would give it away.
I'd give it away, man. I'd have a ball doing it for the rest of my life. And my goal would be to give away the last dollar on my last day.
Well, I would be stretching them dollars out there, boy. I would be stretching those dollars out. You know me, man. I think I would buy an island. I would buy a private jet, and I would buy a helicopter. I would buy a driver and servants. Now, Charles, my problem with the servants, I don't know. And I'm talking about, I'm going to have a garden, I'm going to have all that, but I want a hand and foot servant.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I want a white guy or a black guy.
You wouldn't consider a woman?
I don't think my wife would consider a woman.
But you know, I mean, I think you'd have to go with a black person.
See, but Charles, let me just ask. So, like, could I couldn't get a little back pay.
That's what I'm saying. See, you talking about
my man. Could you get them socks over there?
Who was that said? Did you? I don't know if you said it on the air, but somebody said they wanted to hire a minister of payback.
Oh well, let me tell you. Now, my man Terrell Barnes. Terrell might have got me. He might have won, because this is something I would say. Terrell Barnes said he would immediately put $1 million in a revenge fund off top. Revenge fund off top. And then he said he's hiring a minister of payback. Man, that sounds like Terrell, that you know what, my man? Man after my own heart. But $700 million, what are you doing if you win that, James? You're on the Talk Chicago 1690 AM. What are you doing if you win $700 million Powerball?
Morning, Maze and Charles.
Good
morning.
We're doing great.
Thank you. I just wanted to give a shout out to Charles real quick. Thank you. You're giving a great perspective. You're giving us, the black community, an insight on black media with behind the camera.
Thank you.
And I appreciate that. What I would do with the $700 million, the first thing I would do, and it's dear to my heart, I would put a reward out for the murderer of my son. That's the first thing I would do.
Ooh.
I would put a huge reward out for that. The second thing I would do, I would run for Mayor Harvey. I grew up in Harvey. I'm a Thornton Township alumni. I would redo Harvey. I'm pretty much like Charles. I would give it back.
So you would reinvest in your hometown. You know what, Charles? I think I would look to build a black metropolis. I would look to take that money, establish some land, or go into a town or a suburb that has been kind of abandoned and start the construction of a black Mecca.
And that for profit, or is this a mission?
Man, it's both. I mean, my mission is economic empowerment for our community. So I'm not trying to start a nonprofit. I want to make it accessible, and I want to make it where people can, but I want to build a place where we can go be us. You can have your barbecue. You can live every component of black life. We hire the police. We hire the mayor. We elect the elected officials, but we do it from a conscious perspective.
And you want to make money doing this.
I want everybody there to make money.
And you want to make money.
Yeah, too.
Is it important that you make money?
It's important that everybody makes money.
Well, maybe you want to give it away too.
No, I don't. You want to give it away. I want to build generational wealth so that and teach the responsibility to my family as to what our role is in contributing back. See, I just feel like we need to build our own place to be and pool the resources. And I think, Charles, I keep saying, where is there the black community where black people can go live?
Yeah, I laugh because I'm reading something online.
I know you did.
My brother said he wanted to run mayor of Harvey, and this Linda McGill writes that with $700 million, he could buy Harvey and get $699 million in change.
Y'all better get up off of Harvey, man. Keith Price gonna come get y'all. Keith Price, and you know, man, Kellogg gonna be playing.
Don't play that. I had to chuckle when I read it because that was cold-blooded, Linda McGill.
Hey, man, but I'm gonna tell you, you could probably buy all the South Sub. No, I'm not saying you can buy them all, but I'm sure that there'd probably be a lot of people, if you offered to pay their tax bill, they might give you the house. Since the taxes cost more than that.
Everybody's underwater out there.
Let's go to Lee. Lee, you're on the Talk of Chicago. $700 million. What are you doing? Lee? Lee, you're on the Talk of Chicago. $700 million. What would you do?
Oh, you calling me Rival?
Is your name Lee?
No, my name Rival.
Okay, come on, Rival. What would you do?
I'd take that $700 million and start up a black army so Africans can get their land back.
Ooh, y'all talking about getting free.
Become an arms dealer.
Hey, man. That's generate. Why gotta be an arms dealer? Why he can't just build? He building the Black Liberation Army.
But you can't do it without no strap.
Hey, man, maybe he could just hire Antifa. He hire Antifa. Greg, you're on the Talk of Chicago, 1690. $700 million. What are you doing?
That's almost like $750 million to think of it like that. But research, innovate, start something like the space program nationwide, and then eventually global. In other words, instead of buying some things, have it such that there would be factories established to actually make the things, from the steel to build the factory, and the other things that would be needed, machinery, innovation, science, HBCUs. I would come at it like that. It'd be kind of like the space program.
Wait, Greg, you trying to send black people to space? Man, could you? I think we need some land. Hey, Annette, what would you? $700 million. What you doing? If you had $700 million, Annette Flournoy. Now somebody on here said they would buy you a new house.
Buy me a new house?
Yes,
Oh,
Rob.
that's so sweet. Who's that?
Hey, you know what? I gotta get his name. It went past me fast. $700 million. What you doing?
I'm giving it away. I'm with Charles. I'm giving it away.
That's a damn lie, and you know it.
Come on. No, I am. I'll do some fantasy stuff, some traveling, some stuff like that. But for the most part, $700 million in the whole scope of things. I mean, we're in the billionaire age. So that's not a whole lot of money. I would give it away. I would.
Wait. Did you just say that $700 million is not a lot of money?
In the scope of things, in the world that we're in now, no, it's not. It's not a lot of money.
So can I get your paycheck tomorrow? Can I get your pay? Y'all, let me just tell you.
But listen, I seriously would give it away. That would be my goal in life, to do good things as much as I can do. $700 million worth.
Well, speaking of giving it away, did you hear the story of the mother of four who won $188 million Powerball less than a year ago, and she spent $12 million bailing out her heroin trafficking boyfriend? Total cost $21 million.
Looks like another love TKO.
Let me just say this. So, Charles, say Mary has a run-in. Right?
Yeah,
and they say, Charles, and they say it's going to cost you $699 million in legal defense.
I'm at the courthouse with the check. Got to get my baby out. Come on now. You know better than that.
Let me say this. I got to get mine out too, but I was thinking, okay, but seriously, real talk, you got $700 million. They say the legal defense fund is going to cost you $699 million.
And you know what I would say?
Take it off.
God is good. God is good.
Because
he got me that money just that. They say he's an on-time God, right? That's what that would say to me.
What did she do for that kind of bill?
She set the player up.
Now, y'all keep stuffing me. That was me, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was you, Charles.
Oh my God.
This is the WVON morning show. We got skills, man. We got skills. I am telling you, this is crazy. Karen, you're on the Talk of Chicago 1690.
Good morning. If I had $700 million, I would invest it. I would invest it, and then it would generate additional millions of dollars of dividends. And then I would spend the dividends to build and create educational facilities for black people, for black children, from kindergarten through 12th grade.
You know what? Y'all mighty altruistic. It's like everybody around here I think y'all been practicing.
No,
Y'all been practicing.
Man, how many times have you sat there and looked at a story about the lottery and said, what would I do if I got all that money? I've done that like hundreds of times.
And I said I would set aside like $2 million to give away. The rest, I'm building something that will last. Ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago. When we come back, we'll finish up this conversation. What would you do if you won that $700 million Powerball? Give us a call, 773-591-1690. We'll be back at 6:47.
More of the morning show with Maze Jackson coming up on the Talk of Chicago at 1690 WVON.
Set the player up. Come on now. What was I talking about when I said that?
Man.
First thing I would do, I'd set up my family before I became public. I get the whole lawyer, all that stuff. I would go into hibernation. You have to come out to collect.
I would buy me an album. An island. I would go to an island and I would straight up hook it up, and it would be like I would build a compound for my family.
You know what though? You can only live there long, man. People get bored on a rock.
No, I'm saying like I would have like I would build all the stuff that I wanted on that summer gun, and then I would have my own transportation back to the mainland.
I bet you Johnny Depp can sell you.
What percentage of the people though who would get that much money are going to end up in rehab?
Yep.
In jail.
Read this guy's story. That guy's story is unbelievable.
Think about old boy.
His family got kidnapped. Man. He lost money. He got arrested. He's broke. $300 and some million. Ain't got nothing.
And December 2002 too.
Yeah.
Man. The largest jackpot ever won by a single ticket.
This is that list I was telling you about. With
And he was
college
already
kids going
worth
into college.
$17 million.
The graduate class of 2021, things they.
American Express Open would like to help because we believe a lot of people should have the opportunity to turn their ideas into reality. Visit open.com and see how American Express Open can help with money and know-how so you can get business done. Not even an elevator guy can stop you now.
Drinking heavily and going to strip clubs.
He would go to strip clubs with a suitcase full of cash, and then and leave it in his car, and he would get robbed, and he'd call the police. Oh, they stole my $100 grand. Police report.
The police probably was like, I got missed up.
Every year I found that list intriguing, and for as long as I remember, it's come out.
Granddaughter's boyfriend found dead from a drug overdose. 3 months later, the granddaughter also died of a drug overdose. Man,
It's white people problems when you get money.
I tell you, no, man, I wouldn't want to, man. I'm telling you, that money, man, is not good for
That's
you,
right.
man.
And there's actually shows on TV. It's like the lottery winners or
Right,
whatever.
right,
And
man. I know that, man. That money is not gonna like do anything for you personally.
I saw
It's
these.
not. You're gonna have to have some serious
They always say that.
spiritual moments, man.
I think you had your spiritual moment, then you get right with your money and your accountant. Like
That's
this,
fast.
don't nobody.
But
That's
And your lawyer, and then a
But
lawyer to
but
check your lawyer.
To do it when you didn't grow to it is a very difficult challenge. And I don't know that I want to be bothered with that. I want to spend my life worried about that. You know, how am I going to deal with this money?
I
just
remember
rather
this-
get the money away and say, you know, F it.
And this is
I'm
FU
fine.
money too.
I feel
700
good
million
about
is
who I
FU
am.
money. 500 million is
I mean,
FU
I
money.
feel like
3 million, 5 million. That's not FU
300
money.
million though is not FU money if you could still be broke. Like to me, I would create a legacy for my family's generations.
That 300
And through
million
that-
though is going to increase if you're smart. And
Okay, but look
five
at
years-
at the stories.
Yeah.
Everybody's scared of it.
Yeah,
Find something you love and say, would you sell it for that?
You
There's
ain't
nothing-
nobody
there's nothing in the
told.
world, man.
That's that to me. That's that.
The best story I ever
Nat
saw in the
Turner
lottery
stuff.
is this woman down in Florida. She wins the lottery. She's got all this property, so she's going to do an addition to her house. She lives in a trailer home. So what she does, she just gets all these mobile homes and zigzags them together, and she gets like on 100 acres of property.
But I mean, that's the
She
same
buys
thing
a
the people in
Lamborghini.
Bridgeport do.
She buys a Lamborghini, and she's got a potholed, gravel-filled 1.5-mile driveway to her house. Doesn't even think that
She's
out.
happy though. She's happy. That's
You
her.
buy a Lamborghini and you got nowhere to park it.
You can't even drive in your driveway because it's
but you can't even
gravel.
drive it downtown. You can't drive it
Yeah.
in. Where you gonna park it?
Yep.
Where you gonna park the Bentley?
You can't drive
Where
it
you
on
gonna
these
park it?
streets
You
here.
part with me at the valet.
Huh?
Same place. You put it at the valet.
But what I'm saying is that you add on other issues in life that
You weren't
I
there.
need that.
Yeah, no, I
And
ain't
then
buying
the
that.
story came
Why
out
do you all
yesterday
that?
that people who live next door to people who win the lottery
We
are
back,
going
y'all.
bankrupt because they try to keep up with the Joneses.
My
Last $2.
that's my last $2.
$2. Not gonna lose. Not gonna jealous. Not gonna lose. Fair. And not gonna lose. Box. Better hear me some down home blues.
You are tuned into the Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man Charles Thomas. Give us a call, 773-591-1690. What are you doing if you win the Powerball for $700 million? You know, I'm sitting here listening to Charles and Todd, and they telling me stories about how terrible the money is. I'm going to tell you. I'm not giving... let me back up. I will be charitable. I will be benevolent, and I will do things to build and empower. But I'm not giving away the $300 million. I believe I'm going to try and build some generational wealth and teach the responsibility to my children. Maybe I set them up in an international foundation. But nah, bro, I'm not giving it all
But check
away.
this out. That wise old sage, Linda McGill, writes that as a black man, I don't care what you want to do, you're going to spend half your money trying to prevent white folks from taking it away from you. I think she got something there.
Okay, that's half.
Who
That-
needs all
so-
that?
so-
Who needs all that, man?
Don't nobody. You know what I mean? See, to me, that to me, Charles, though, is that, and this is not a diss, but this is that I'm going up a yonder. This is what they sold. I feel like black folks are fearful of money. We've been taught to be fearful of money, that we supposed to give it away. Look, ain't nobody told Bill Gates. Now, let me back up though. Bill Gates did say he was going to
give away all his money
in foundations. It's going to give back to him.
He said that, hey, I got to give this money away. I can't do anything with this. What can I? After a while,
do they have any kids?
Spend it on. What do you even have to spend it on? You have to. That becomes a challenge.
How do you build generational wealth?
You build generational wealth, but this is like outrageous wealth. Who needs $700 million? What are you going to do with $700 million?
A lot. Maybe you rebuild some infrastructure.
Give it away.
No, make it profitable. Grow it. Why would we give it away? Why not grow it? I guess that's the difference in
all these business people. You know, they go into business. I'm gonna go into business. Come on, man. Who needs all that money, man? I mean, you can get your Bentley with a couple of million, and your big crib, your fat crib with 10 million. Now you're talking 700, a billion.
I guess nobody says that to the Forbes family. You know, I guess
those people have ruined the world, man. The Rothschilds have started world wars, man. Because they got all that money. Millions of people died in World War I, man. And they said that was all because of the European banking royalty, man. You know, all that money. What did they do good with all that money, man? They started World War I, financed World War II, the Bushes and them.
And now they rich.
Come on. Huh? They rich, but I mean, you got that on your conscience?
Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say that if I have the opportunity to be a world decider, I'm going to take that opportunity. I'm not passing. I just feel like we complain about not being at the table, but we want to not. When it's the Billionaires Boys Club and you need to be able to get to the table, you need to have that bag.
Look, I'm not for somebody being broke. No, but I'm talking about this outrageously rich stuff. I mean, what did you really get from that? Mm-hmm. Well, that's cool, but that's $5 million. But here's a guy who won $315 million. His daughter, now he's broke. He won $315 million in 2002, the biggest lottery winner at the time. Now he's broke. His granddaughter died of a drug overdose. I mean,
that's because of money?
Yeah, because they got rich and they didn't know how to handle it, man.
Okay, so then they should have took a class.
And he's broke now.
He should have took a class. Maybe what they need to do is have a lottery winners class. Hey, Sonia, you had a clip from someone who said what they would do with it. Go ahead and play that back.
Can I ask you, if you won all the money, what would you do with it?
Bunch of hookers and cocaine.
Oh, okay, that's not good. We were hoping for a different answer.
Clearly a white guy.
Look, man, all the people that have done this, I mean,
not
hookers and cocaine, but a lot of bad stuff has happened.
Okay, well, this is what I suggest. You need to have a money management class, but I'm just letting you know, I'm not passing out $300 million to give away to what I'm going to do. We talk about the black infrastructure and how it's gone. And then when we get the bag, we gonna donate it away. I don't know if we need more nonprofits in our community. I think we need some profits to self-generate our own. Let's go to Mike. You're on the Talk of Chicago. Quickly, to your point.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's up, Mike?
Hey, what I do is I try to change the trajectory of the black community.
How?
You know, I agree with what P. Diddy did. He said, man, I to open up businesses. And as you're saying, you know, I'd want to create generational wealth within our community.
I'm with that too, Mike. I think there does need to be some business training, though, because I think everybody wants to open a business. It sounds good to open a business, but everybody hasn't had that opportunity. Kenny, Talk Chicago, 1690.
Good morning, Nate, and good morning, Charles.
Hey, how you doing?
You have to be, good. A little tired. You have to be very careful who's around you when you win that kind of money. I won a $150,000 settlement, which is nothing. Here come the cousins, I never knew, relatives. I never knew. People will come to money for the wrong reasons. I would invest $10 million on the west side, $10 million on the south side, and disappear.
I heard that. I don't know. I guess we got two different.
You know, you also talk about people getting all this money all at once. In other words, they didn't grow into it.
And you know that's a big problem. If you don't know anything about $700 million, if you make it 70,000 now to go to 700 million, you got to know how to get there.
That's what I would pay my advice. I would pay for a class, but I'm gonna tell you what,
they'll be taking your money.
You know what? We'll you might have to take it, but I tell you what, no, I'm not giving away all my 300 million. Ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned in. 700 million. Ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago 1690. When we come back, racist. It's all racial. Seems like the white folks are having a battle of who is the most racist. We'll talk about that when we come back after news, traffic, and weather.
The Talk of Chicago and the voice of the nation.
My response back from CPS is I will reach out to Janice. I can probably get her later in the week. So I think you should. Dude, that's an awesome phone cord you got there. What is that, like 12 feet? So if you got her, Janice is direct, I'd reach out.
Network news now. WVON weather and traffic. WVON news time. It's 7 o'clock.
Presidential fighting words in Arizona. Removing a Navy commander. I'm Evan Hayden. In Phoenix, President Trump followed Monday's new plan for the war in Afghanistan with a political rally during which he attacked the news media.
They're bad people, and I really think they don't like our country.
And if he had to shut down the federal government to get his wall to come along the U.S.-Mexico border, Trump said he would do it.
Believe me, we have to close down our government. We're building that wall.
The president attacked Republican senators and again hinted that he may pardon former Arizona Sheriff Joe Arpaio, who was found guilty of disobeying a federal court order.
So, was Sheriff...
You wanted to play that hooker cocaine
I'm
clip?
like, wow, well, like that. I was like, he kept saying that, like, this ain't the loop.
It's the man, guys. It's the man.
This ain't the
He made me
loop.
do it.
This ain't the loop, man. Like, man, we got kids listening.
It's a family show.
Even though we play Bodak Yellow.
Vice Admiral Joseph Aucoin has been relieved of command of the 7th Fleet after a series of collisions by Navy vessels, correspondent Venetia Tank reports.
This is really quite interesting that we've seen now the removal of Joe Aucoin. He's a highly decorated naval officer, but it illustrates a very disturbing point.
All right, y'all, take a moment, share the broadcast.
Have been in the Pacific 7th Fleet specifically.
Who's out there? Who's kicking it with us? All right. Are you out there on YouTube? If you're on YouTube, say what's up. What's up, everybody? Man, we got a little show cracking. What up, Lenny? Theo, DS, John, Nate, James, Felicia, Tammy, Linda, Johnny Valentine.
Gulf and ocean water temperatures are very warm. Wind shear aloft is very light.
What up, Joel? What up, Sean? What up, Adrian? Exactly, Everett. I'm just telling y'all though, this whole like black people, we got to be. Check this out. Black people are hyper dependent on social services. We always talk about we don't have access to capital. We always talk about what we are trying to get from white folks because we don't have black millionaires, multimillionaires. So when we get capital, we give it away. We can't do that. If the issue is access to capital, if the issue is that we can't build our own because we got to go to white folks to get it, then why not take that, make a black bank? Why not take that, get the best people?
Yeah, see, man, like, what you talking about winning the lottery here. I mean, you take brothers like Jay-Z, Master P, P. Diddy, all these brothers, they grew.
But I'm saying you're taking the aberration though, bro.
They grew. They're not aberrational.
I'm talking about what you're saying. We're taking the 6 stories or the 20 stories from bad things that happen.
I'm talking about people that grew into their wealth. We're talking about somebody handing you $700 million. You know, you don't even know who to hire to manage it for you. You don't have a lawyer. You don't have anything. You start from scratch, and that's how you get messed up in all that. You wouldn't even know how to buy a house, how to buy a yacht.
Let me suggest this.
man.
I would
They have no
suggest.
knowledge.
I would suggest that is. I would say that that's not true.
Because
I'm saying that if first of all, if I got $700 million, I definitely know who I would talk to because I know people who got $700 million, and I would say, please,
No,
sir.
you don't.
Yes,
You
I
don't,
do.
But you never cut a deal with somebody. You're gonna take somebody's word. You didn't grow into it. You didn't sell CDs out the back of your car to make a profit every day. And some of these guys did that made it big, and they now worth $1 billion.
Neither did the kid with the. Neither did
But
these
they
white
grew
kids with
into
the
it. I'm
trust.
talking-
No,
you
neither
can-
these
if
white
somebody-
kids with the trust
look,
fund.
If I today,
Charles, you
started
are-
a
you
business-
are suggesting
if I
that
started
black
a
people's
business
intelligence
today,
is limited.
And 10 years from now, it's worth $1 billion. I would be an entirely different mood to have $1 billion than if somebody just handed me $1 billion. Charles, go for it. You can get burned like that.
You could get, but like if you live life being like what could happen instead of what you want to make happen, then no, bro. I don't believe that everybody that
to the money. You gotta go
you
to
don't
the
have to.
money.
If you
It's
get it, what you
different.
supposed to do?
It's different. I wouldn't be.
That's how you
If
feel.
I made $1 billion, I wouldn't. No, I probably wouldn't give it away. I'd have all these other reasons not to. But
I
if
bought
somebody
the ticket
gave
to
me
win.
$1 billion. Shit, I don't want that. Okay. Because I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, that to me is often the case. Look, as an entrepreneur, as a person that has run businesses or done business, if I hit a lick, you learn as you go. So when we got the first $1 million contract, we fucked it up. But guess what? We got the second one and we did better. So
exactly. But you went from $2 million now to $700 million.
So what? It's all principles.
So what? That's a huge
Put it in the bank.
difference.
I agree, it might be a huge difference, but I'm not running from it. I'm not running from something because I'm not running. I'm not running from no challenge. So if I get $700 million, that's a good problem to have.
Don't get your head bumped in the intro.
You get your head bumped growing up. You get your head bumped spending $50,000.
I love arguments over hypothetical lottery. That's so true.
I just say we can't complain about no access to capital and we get it and then we give it away.
Weather now.
Travel times up a bit now. 30 minutes for my 82 Ryan. Kind of approaching
I think that one of the things that I read about entrepreneurs is they have a very underdeveloped sense of fear, right? So I don't ever look at a challenge, however daunting it is. We've had times when they've said, man, you got to come up with $250,000. I'm not in any way, shape, or form suggesting that's the same as 50 million or 700 million. But what I am suggesting is that whenever the challenge is put before you, you either step up to the challenge or you step back from the challenge. My premise is always the step two. Not to fear what the possibility of could happen, but think about what are the opportunities that could.
When you win, man, that's great. I want to see you challenge, man. Step to it, my brother.
Right, I'm saying.
And win.
Right,
I'm rooting for you.
And you should. You should.
You should. I'm rooting for you.
You should. That's
I'm
you.
gonna have a ball giving it away.
And that's the difference.
Have a ball.
And but you at the end, bro. Your kids are up and grown. I gotta leave something to mine.
Man, I'm gonna leave something to mine.
Right. I'm gonna leave a legacy.
I'm gonna leave a lot to mine.
I'm with you.
Don't worry about it. I got that.
So I'm saying.
I got $700 million. I ain't worried. That ain't even an issue anymore.
Right. Okay.
I got that. I'm worried about.
I just want them to have more. Did you get the racism? Did you get the racism quote from Preckwinkle?
Yeah, the black and brown.
Yeah. Okay.
The same old ways that kept us dying. Yes, you, me, myself, and I. What he need is a nosebleed between the lines. And think you see the lie.
You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my main man, Charles Thomas, in the building. 7 o'clock hour, we cannot do the show without the morning show team. Got to say what's up to Annette Flournoy in the newsroom.
Morning, sunshine.
Good morning, as well as Sonia Escobar. And you know what, Charles? It seems to me that racism is the new black.
The new.
Well, how they say racism is the new 40, the new 20. What is it? Because it seems like racism, calling out racism, is the new thing to do.
Yeah, everywhere, man. You read it everywhere, and they even got this cartoon business. You know, we talked about it. Was it last week or the week before last?
Are we still talking about this cartoon?
Man, they brought it up yesterday in Springfield, man. It's all over the news, man, and I'm reading it this morning. People calling me.
Was it late at night?
No, this one was. You know, actually, I did get an email at 2 o'clock in the morning about this. It actually was sent to me at 2 o'clock in the morning this morning, saying, asking, for some counsel on this whole race issue, because they know it all started, Maze. This whole thing about this cartoon started right here on the WVON morning show.
Now, Charles, break this down to me, because I don't understand how this is news like
Illinois Policy Institute,
right?
Their cartoonists wrote. They are a conservative, free market conservative think tank, and we've had them on the show.
Right, we had John Tillman, Shadow Government.
And that's important. Okay, now that's important, but we'll get back to that.
Okay.
So their cartoonist in one of their publications wrote a cartoon that showed this cartoon caricature of a wealthy white man keeping money from a poor CPS student who was black, right? The cartoon showed a black child and a elderly fat, overweight white man with his pockets stuffed with money, keeping money away from this CPS student. They were talking about how TIF money is diverted to rich white men from poor black children. That was the cartoon. Now, this guy, State Representative Chris Mitchell on the South Side, said the kid was a Sambo. Then the next day,
I got you.
now he tweeted that.
Okay.
Then the next day, Jamie Andrade, a Latino state rep, complained on the floor about the cartoon and called it racist. And all the other lawmakers chimed in about racism. Now, if you look at the cartoon, and people have seen it, to me, it's not racist. There's nothing in that cartoon that's racist, except the situation that they are caricaturing. The fact that rich white men are getting TIF money and taking it away from poor black kids. Yeah, that's
Is that
racist.
a real? But that's real live racism.
That's real live racism. But they're worried about
the cartoon,
the cartoon of the child, which wasn't racist. Man, if you look up Sambo on Google or any other search engine, and you go to the images and you see what a real racist the vile stuff that white cartoonists have drawn about black people, this didn't even come close. Chris Mitchell.
But they said he had big lips. And a big nose.
You got big lips.
Hey, bro.
I got big lips. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but come on. I mean, it wasn't racist. It just wasn't. All you got to do is do the Google, man, and you can rely on the Google editors here, and they'll show you what a racist, vile cartoon looks like.
So,
and
Charles,
it didn't look like this.
So, Charles, I guess my question becomes, why is this still why are all these white people fighting? Because I don't hear any black people in the conversation outraged, with the exception of
the politicians.
When didn't we talk? Do we have any members? Do we have any parents from National Teachers Academy who could maybe talk to us about something like this? Charles, didn't we just hear a story about $55 million in TIF funds being diverted from the third ward, from the poor part of the third ward, to go build Navy Pier and to help the DePaul and the Marriott Center, all which are private institutions that do not need
run by white men.
Run by white men.
Right. And that's all the cartoon was saying.
So
if
why?
If anything, the cartoon was pro-black. It wasn't trying to vilify the black people. It was vilifying the white business people who were taking TIF money and diverting it. It was not a racist cartoon. It wasn't. But they've created that, and that situation has come up. We're all, man.
Can I read you the quote from Mayor Emanuel? Now, I found this ironic. Mayor Emanuel also chimed in. This is from the Chicago Sun-Times. The cartoon issued by the governor's allies at Illinois Policy Institute is unambiguously racist, Emanuel said in a statement. We can no longer give quarter to racism, and there can be no justification for leaders unwilling to stand up and call out racist acts. For a man so eager to speak his mind so often, the governor's silence is deafening. Now, is this the same man who hid the Laquan McDonald tape?
Well,
is this the same person that allegedly hid the McDonald tape? Is this the same person that is fighting police reform right now? It's got a lawsuit to stop a federal oversight. When is he called out racism?
Here's what's going on. The Illinois Policy Institute, which is wrong on some things and right on some things, we let them come in and have a voice to the black community right here at WVON Radio. We are the first to do that. We are allowing them to tell their story so black people can make a decision on their own. The powers that be do not want that to happen.
Why?
So they want to destroy the Illinois Policy Institute's credibility and our credibility because we get them have voice. That's what this is about in the black community, because they know that if the black community doesn't fall lockstep the way it has for these past 40 years behind the powers that be, the machine in Cook County, then they can't win. They know that. So to have IPI have a voice is dangerous to them. So they want to make IPI be racist and us be allegedly duped by these racists, so we lose credibility. But I'm telling you, as a journalist, everybody who has a point of view is going to be able to have access to this forum. And they are not going to stop that from happening, because we're going to hear every side of the story before we make decisions moving forward about what's happening to black people. We want to know, what do you say, Mays?
What's in it for the black people?
Exactly, and I want to know that from IPI, just like I want to know that from Kristen Mitchell. I want to know it from all sides. We're going to have a conversation, and they are not going to stop it from happening with this stuntery. This is a stunt, a political stunt.
Well, it seems like everybody is in on it.
And all the white folks are telling us what's racist.
Look,
they would ask me.
Charles, they keep saying, look at this. Don't you find this racist? Man, I was reading a insider publication, political insider publication, and you're right, Charles, they did try to take our credibility. Look, so they called out the governor because he said in his statement that as a white male, does he have an obligation to denounce the cartoon as racist? I think that, are we worried about cartoons, or are we worried about the real thing that's going on right now?
It's amazing, isn't it?
Like, why is it that they feel like they can send black people off? And you know what, Charles? Racist is the new thing to do, because I think this whole black thing that we're doing, they're trying to capitalize on it and try and reverse it up. So, the people that are actually the racists, we know the Republicans got their issues, and they got racism issues. But I think that what's the problem is that we're pointing a mirror to the racism that exists with the people in our own
But
base.
check it out. I got colleagues who have written about this situation, white colleagues and Asian American colleagues who've written about this situation. They say, I tell them, leave your downtown office, walk to a construction site anywhere downtown, and you'll see racism. That's where you'll see racism, when you don't see any black workers. Don't tell me about no cartoon. Come on, y'all.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago 1690. Traffic and weather is next.
More of the morning show with Mays Jackson.
Okay, so next, Charles. Next, I'm going to bring in the clip from Preckwinkle calling Now the pop tax is racist too. All right, I'm gonna give you the camera. You got. I gotta go to the bathroom.
Yeah, it's amazing what they're doing. This is like a bamboozle, like you've never seen a bamboozle before, and it's all because these people who are calling out, you know, different issues. They don't want the black people to hear that point of view. I don't really. I mean, I want you to hear the point of view and make your own decision. But what's been happening to us is that we've only been getting one point of view for so many years that we act like there's not another point of view on taxes. We have a black leader like the Cook County Board President tell us that we need a soda pop tax, and we never hear the other side of it. So these people from the Illinois Policy Institute, they give you the other side about it. The Illinois Policy Institute, for instance, told us in 2011 that the income tax, the 3-year temporary income tax that was imposed by the Quinn administration and the Democrats in 2011, the Illinois Policy Institute back then told us that that income tax increase would worsen economic conditions in Illinois. They told us that. Now, fast forward to 2017. The first income tax that they imposed came and went, and guess what? Today, the economic situation in Illinois, particularly for black people, is worse. Like they said, is worse than it was in 2011. So wait a minute. So they said something to me back then that was true. It's my obligation to listen to them and say, well, what do y'all think about this income tax? They're saying the same thing. I'm supposed to ignore that? I'm supposed to ignore that doesn't exist? That they didn't say that? Black man, I'm just trying to tell you to listen to every side of every story. Because a lot of things, some of the things they promote at the Illinois Policy Institute, I don't agree with. I do not. I don't agree with. But some of the things, they're right. They're right. They talk about the pension situation. They've been talking about that for 20 years. They've been right. I'm sorry, they've been right. It's driving this state into a ditch. We supposed to ignore that just because they said it? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Won't do that here. Won't happen here. I'm going to listen to all sides, and then I'm going to make my decision. I'm not going to automatically just go for it because somebody has a capital D in parentheses beside their name. That's the problem in Cook County. That's the problem. People aren't making decisions based on information. You're making decisions based on party affiliation and emotion. They're trying to get us emotionally involved. This cartoon, I guarantee you, anybody who's a true black person can look at that cartoon and compare it to what we faced over the years, the vile racism that cartoonists have committed against black people. You look at that cartoon and compare it to that and call this racist? Come on, man. You gotta, no way. No way. Am I preaching too much?
No, you're not. You know, that's one of those what makes it good. So yeah, you know, all of these white folks telling us what's racist and racial for us, and it's just not the case. Now, I'm not gonna say that. I think the thing that we gotta listen to. Can I go back and tell y'all a story? Do you know my job at Coca-Cola was before Gator Bradley was to be an urban translator? I.e., there were rich white men who had the resources. And my job was to get the resources that benefited the community. We'll talk about it when we come back. You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my main man, Charles Thomas, on the line. And Charles, you're looking disgusting.
Yeah,
man.
because now I'm reading a statement that Eddie Reed. A lot of people in our audience know who Eddie Reed is. He's the chairman of the Black Independent Political Organization, and he says he does not find the Illinois Policy Institute cartoon to be racist. In fact, he finds the cartoon to be a well-timed display of the truth about how our children are being treated in Chicago. Now, Eddie's he's been around a long time, and you can't say that Eddie's going to give a racist any quarter at all. And here is a black voice speaking about it, about this cartoon, and all we're hearing quoted are either these black politicians or white people. In fact, the Associated Press quoted a white woman saying the cartoon was racist, but did not consult anybody black. This is outrageous.
It's funny, Charles. When you turn into Uncle Stepdaddy Charles, because brother, look at you. Ladies and gentlemen, you want to see some facial expressions. You want to see a look of disgust.
I want these people to focus on real racism. Real racism in
Let's talk about those
and
racism
jobs.
Did you know, Charles, did you know that all of those people that stood up against the cartoon sat down and voted to make sure that we only get 1% of the contracts at the state of Illinois,
and none of the Medicaid contracts.
That's
not one penny did they didn't stand up at all to talk about that.
Let me tell you, but Charles, I think that I think that the new theme is racism. I think that they're I think that this whole Donald Trump thing is trickled all the way down to Illinois politics, and so everything is racism. Did you know now that the pop tax is even now the pop industry is targeting black and brown children? Did you hear Queen Sugar yesterday on Chicago Tonight? Play that clip for me, Sonia.
Well, I'm very grateful to Michael Bloomberg, Mayor Bloomberg, and we really appreciate his help. And you have to look too at what's going on the other side. Big Soda has invested tremendously in a media campaign that started last summer, so it's been going on for a year, targeting in particular black and brown communities and black and brown children with their advertising.
Racial.
Was that the Queen decreeing? The Queen decrees.
Yes, Charles. Literally, racism isn't, and it's the people. You know, Charles, I just have a tough time with people claiming racism at the same time protecting racism. Because didn't we hear that the property tax system was institutionally racist?
That's what the University of Chicago to conclude,
as well as the MacArthur Foundation
and the Chicago Tribune.
Okay, so but yet and still we have to do another study of the study to determine if that is racist.
That's what President Preckwinkle would like to see.
You know what? I'm gonna find that clip because we talked about. We want another study of the study to find out if there's racism. Hey, Charles. Is there racism in Chicago?
And you know this.
All right, let's go to the live line. Mike, you're on the Talk Chicago, 1690 AM. Was the cartoon racist?
No, not at all. Hey, Maze, how you doing, Charles Thomas?
Good morning.
Michael O'Connor.
What's up, Mike?
Good morning. You know, they are crazy. And if they act, these black politicians that are pushing this false narrative, this is a perfect example of why you may get 47% or less in terms of the most loyal Democratic base because of this nonsense. Instead of being able to stand up against the racism that counts, like no jobs, no contracts here in the state of Illinois, and Queen, y'all call her Queen Sugar, last night I watched this channel. I watched WTT11 when she
Chicago
was there
Tonight.
talking crazy about that type of fuzz about the tax. I haven't heard any major marketing towards black and brown kids.
Yeah, I have, but you've seen those new commercials that Mayor Bloomberg has made because they got black kids all up in those commercials. You think they had a black ad agency place any of them multi-millions?
Of course not. Of course not. They don't hire black people to be the photographers or the producers.
They hire them for the props.
Or they hire black companies to do that work. Oh no.
I mean, wait. So we got people standing up for against racist cartoons. Now the pop tax is racist. Charles.
Now the pop tax. They say the pop tax is a response to racism.
Oh no, the pop industry is now racist.
Yeah, that's why they sell us this sugar. You know.
Did they have a contract with one of those pop companies at the county? I thought it was a big, pretty BFD.
They probably do. I mean, for all their buildings and such, right?
Because they still got to. So they want to make the money and the pop tax. You know what, Charles? I am just a little disgusted. Now you want to talk about some real racism? You want to know why CPS is one of the best places to send your kids to school? Only if you don't speak English. We'll talk about that when we come back on Talk Chicago at 729. Give us a call, 773-591-1690.
Live from the WVON newsroom.
Where is the... You know, I got these Illinois Policy Institute people that want to come on your show, man, right now. Would you get a call?
I mean, anybody can call. I want Illinois
Policy. What's the internal number? What's that number?
Oh, I'm not gonna say the one.
Huh? Or the regular number? I don't know. Whatever.
Well, I mean, they could probably, if they called the regular, they could. But here. Here.
Just say it to me, man.
No, I'm not gonna say it because we got the.
Oh yeah, okay. Man, you smarter than me. That's what I like about you, man. You know. You're very savvy about this social media shit. It goes right by me. I don't.
Of the education bill, double down on the failures of the funding formula.
Rauner made several changes in the bill that he says make.
I did that slide. Do that. I'm on this, man. I'm a lot smarter than I look, right? I look a little slow, but I made it a little while. Oh, don't get rid of the calls. I wanted to continue those calls. Can we get some of the people who are calling this racist on the phone? Like, who else is calling this racist?
Well, Chris Mitchell is calling it racist.
Let's get the white folks. Who are the white folks that are saying this is racist? Right? Like, let's get some of them. Like, explain, dear white people, explain to me why this cartoon is racist. Tell me why I should feel. If you look at
well, I know reporters.
Call a reporter. Call Marianne Ahern. Text her. Say, come get on. But, like, you calling this racism, why is this a story still? Like, what is it that you hope to accomplish? If no black people are telling you that they're offended, why are white people so offended? Because that's their guilty damn conscience. No, they're not the victims. They want us to feel like victims. They want us to say, that's the person that's doing it to you. When the Illinois Policy Institute ain't never voted on one contract. Illinois Policy Institute ain't never taken away one thing from black folks. You ask every black person that works at the state how much racism they experience. They keep their mouth shut so they can do their job and get their check and go home. And the people that treat them, I'm just telling you. Hey, can I tell y'all something? I learned the difference yesterday between Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts. Let me tell you, I had a Starbucks about this big.
Hey, man.
I did not know.
You know what the junkies say, don't you?
What?
Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts sell shit that ain't. Junkies say shit that ain't.
Man.
That's what they say.
I was just saying, play a clip.
And let me just say that what we're going to look at is not just the operations of the assessor, but also the board of review and the treasurer and the recorder of deeds, all the people in property and taxation. And I'm very, very grateful to the Civic Consulting Alliance for their willingness to take on this challenge. Actually, we met with them earlier today, and they have outlined a scope of work for the next several months that will help us identify what actions need to be taken going forward to make the system more fair.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned in to the Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson, with Charles Thomas. That was Queen Sugar yesterday on Chicago Tonight.
For those who need clarification, Queen Sugar is a name for Cook County Board President Tony Preckwinkle.
So for those of you who were just tuned in, we were discussing racism is the new black in the party, right? Literally, because everything is racist. But when asked, so, you know, yesterday President Preckwinkle said that the pop tax is now, I mean, not the pop tax, that the beverage industry unfairly targets black folks, black and brown people, virtually implying that it's racist. But then when questioned about the property tax system that has been studied and studied and studied and found to be institutionally racist, she wanted to do another study.
But no more studies on the beverage industry. She got them dead to rights.
Right. And then she told us about how if we don't look at Philadelphia, that's more close to us, look at Berkeley, California, and see how well it worked. I'm like, if you live in Berkeley, California, you probably got a lot of money and you ain't thinking about no tax.
And not only that, we're only talking about several 100,000 people. In Cook County, you're talking about 5.3 million people. I mean, we're talking about a lot of, this is the largest county in the country. And, you know, it's way different to try to throw this pop tax down here as opposed to in a place like Berkeley, which is basically a small enclave outside San Francisco.
So, and coincidentally, yesterday CPS, then Mayor Emanuel and CPS stand up and say that they talk about the most favorable test score gains to support their call for CPS funding, and guess what they said? Let me read this. Mayor Emanuel on Tuesday plucked out the most favorable gains in standardized test scores amongst English learners.
Immigrant kids, basically.
Basically, they've had the best. He came out and said, we need to get our school funding because we have had record gains in education and educational growth among students who don't speak English.
What about black students?
So let me quote Because, you know, they always tell, the mayor gets to tell the great story about how wonderful it is. And then here they got to put my girl Janice on Front Street.
Janice Jackson.
Janice Jackson, you know.
Chief Education
Officer. Now, the one who got, you don't see no Reverend Good Dr. Forrest Claypool, We Shall Overcome, nowhere on there when everybody like, hold on. Because even the Sun Times said, wait, this growth is really only amongst non-English speaking. So then they give my girl out there, and she has to say, she pointed out the dramatic gains among Latino students and some bright spots among black students.
Some bright spots.
She went on to say, we see some cases where African American students are outperforming white students as the increase that has occurred over time. So check it out though. So that's gain. See, let me explain that's gain. So if you are a white kid, let me frame this. 1 in 4 black kids go to an underperforming CPS school. 1 in 22 Latino kids go to an underperforming CPS school. 1 in 100 white kids go to an underperforming school. So if you are a black child and you go to a school that's ranked at 1 and you get to 2, you are at 100% growth.
Right.
But if you are at a white school where you're at a 98 and you get to a 99, you only get 1% growth.
Oh man, this is all scam. You know, I go back to.
But where's everybody? Why is nobody standing up for that?
Well, that's using the numbers. That's just, they've been doing that for years. I mean, Mayor Daley used to do that with Arnie Duncan. They used to do that all the time. They would tell us how great they were doing, how great they were doing. Then when Rahm came on board, Rahm said, these kids been getting the shaft. I said, you talking about Ross Daley and Arnie Duncan? No, I'm just saying they've been getting the shaft. You know, they play games. These are all numbers games.
But Charles, I look at this all in the context of these claims of racism by the Illinois Policy Institute as we're watching in the same day. How do these people have a straight face? Now, let me tell you what they called the governor. And I don't want to defend the governor because, you know, the governor still keeps telling me to talk to the what's those people's name? He keep telling me to call them when I ask about the black millionaires. When I ask, what have you done? I say, Governor, where are the black millionaires? He always says,
ask the Illinois Black Chamber of Commerce.
But they won't come on. So, Governor, you got problems with me too, right? You ain't out the clear, but let me tell you how he responded, because they've been pressing him on this cartoon. He said, Charles, he said, the governor's office has also heard from members of the black community who found truth in the imagery and do not find the cartoon offensive. Here's where things stand. The cartoon was removed days ago, and the governor, as a white male, does not have anything more to add to the discussion. Christian responded, wait, what? So being a white male removes Governor Rauner from a position of moral leadership? This is more disgraceful than not saying anything. I was just going to ask, have we heard from the speaker?
The speaker, Madigan? No.
What was he saying about racism? But what was he saying about racism?
The speaker says nothing. I mean, that's...
Let me back up. I'm not saying speaker. Let me say the head of the Democratic Party of Illinois. What has the head of the Democratic Party of Illinois that purports to represent us said about racism? Have we heard about Charlottesville? Have we heard about... Nothing. What did he say about Laquan?
Not a word.
What did he say?
Nothing. Give me some crickets.
Right, we need crickets. Because... was it racist? I mean, Charles, racial, racist, everything is now racist. But the other guy is doing it. I'm saying, Charles, that with the highest black unemployment in the country, with there being a tale of 3 cities where black, white, and Latino and black people are at the bottom, where is anybody standing up for that?
You know, the thing is, we got like so much stuntery, as you call it, stuntery that goes on in Illinois politics. None of it's real. I mean, it's all stuntery. In this situation, this whole everybody calling everybody else a racist is stuntery. And what they're trying to do is put all the white politicians, white Democrat and Republican, to make them oppose this resolution about racism, whatever they're going to come up with, and nobody will, because nobody wants to be called a racist. I mean, this is incredible. It's great politics, high theater. I just hope that my people understand it for what it really is. It's game. It has nothing to do with reality. The cartoon was not racist. Black man, black woman.
Can we
look
ask
at it?
WVON listeners? Have you seen the cartoon? And I guess, when is it wrong to call out racism? Who's responsible? What about National Teachers Academy? Do you think that's racist? When they take that money, think about the fact that $55 million that was meant for that same community went up to the 42nd Ward to go fix up Navy Pier.
Mm-hmm.
And then they put police around Navy Pier to guard us from our kids coming in.
Hey, man, and all you got to do is look at any, like I said, I keep coming back, I hate to do this, but look at any construction site downtown and you will see racism. You don't need to look at a cartoon in some obscure political publication. Just go do that. Or go get yourself a list of contracts that the city of Chicago, the county of Cook, or the state of Illinois has let in the last year, and see how many black companies are in those lists, and you will see racism. But you don't hear our black politicians talking about that.
You know what? And I'm gonna say, not even just the black politicians, because it seems like. But you know what? Because I'm gonna say like this: I see all the Lakeshore liberals, all the people that want to stand against racism. Let us stand, and we can take the picture, but we're not gonna touch them contracts.
We ain't gonna, and we're not gonna take all those people you see out at the Federal Plaza or on Daily Plaza who all come together to protest this or that, to one of them construction sites and shut it down to make a point. How come y'all have no black people working here?
Let me ask. And then yesterday we heard that people that we support, we fight, half of the 40% of them voted for Donald Trump. Where was the outrage for that? Like, I didn't hear not one. Think about the gravity of this. Yesterday, we heard one of the most powerful allies to the party literally say that 40% of his people vote Republican, and that they were responsible for Donald Trump winning downstate. You did not hear a peep or a cricket.
Well, from the black political leadership?
From nobody. Yeah. Not one Democrat said one, because guess what? They get that tail whooped. Ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned in to Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I am your host, Maze Jackson, Charles Thomas. When we come back, racism, is it the new black in the Democratic Party? Answer that question when we come back at 7:47 on the Talk of Chicago.
More of the morning show with Maze Jackson coming up.
What's up, y'all? YouTube, how you feeling today? Charles, you can I gotta eat. Charles, you got people.
I got people. Yeah, I'm telling you, folks, just wake up, be woke. I want to. And then, you know, like I said, I saw in the paper today that we talked about it last week, that they're going to run Illinois Secretary of State Jesse White, who is 83 years old, for a 6th term as Secretary of State. The Democrats. You mean to tell me that they could not find a young black person, given how Democrats, how we support the Democrats, to run for a high-profile office like that? I want to know. I mean, they decided to run Jesse White, who's 83 years old, for another term. Now, Jesse White would be 88 years old should the Lord bless him with enough life to live until the end of another term, presuming he'd win, or assuming he'd win. Do you mean to tell me they couldn't find one black person to run for Secretary of State?
No.
To replace Jesse White?
No, because they can't have anybody else.
Let me finish here. I want to know from our black elected officials, did y'all have a meeting? Did you all say something to Mike Madigan and the rest of the party about who might be a good candidate to run for Secretary of State, I like that Christian Mitchell, who started all this mess about the Sambo and the cartoon. He's in law school now or something like that. Bright, articulate young brother. You mean, did y'all consider maybe running him? Did you consider running maybe one of your other lawmakers? Maybe you could have gone into local government somewhere and found a black person to run for Secretary of State who might be positioned to run statewide for maybe U.S. Senator or governor one day. Did y'all think about that? Or did you all even ask about that? What happened? I mean, that's what I want to know. I mean, what do you all do in meetings? Do you all ever, like when black electeds are in meetings with party people and committeemen and such, do you even ask James Sweeney, who said 40% of his members vote Republican? Did you even ask him, well, Jim, is there something we can help you with? What's that all about? I mean, do you even ask? Or do you all just sit back and say, yowza, boss? Is that what you do? Is that what you do? We want to know. I guess that's why a lot of you won't come on this program, because I tell you, I will ask. How did that happen? What?
I'm going to tell you what. So the reason that they're not going to ask a young, ambitious black person, we talked about that before, is because that is the path to the governorship. It has the most jobs and power. They want it back. Quiet as it's kept, Jesse White took that job from them. They wanted somebody else to have it. Then they co-opted him.
What are you trying to play us for?
Play that fucking music, white boy.
You are tuned into the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. Why? You know what? Why are they trying to? You know, Sonia Escobar, I love your music piece. Why are they trying to play us? Why are they trying to play us? Charles, racism, racial racism, race. Oh, it's the white people, the white man is trying to hold you down.
Look, man, this is too obvious to me. The Democratic Party in Illinois is in such dire straits right now that they cannot win unless they get that 90-95% black vote. And I'm telling you, the stuff that they're doing is not earning them any points. They can't get there if they continue to do this kind of stuff that they've been doing.
They have not learned, go ahead.
I know, they just don't respect us enough.
It's like they can't, it just seems like everything has to be a stunt or trick them this way instead of just come with the bag. Just come with the bag. Hey, Charles, speaking of coming with the bag, I just got a note that says that my girl Janice Jackson was listening and she's going to call in. So stay tuned at 8:05 because we got Janice Jackson calling in. Now, I'm going to tell you.
I would rather have the Reverend Doctor Forrest, We Shall Overcome Cool, call in, because that would be good. Probably get into a lot of, we have a lot of questions for him.
See, here's the thing.
How the struggle is going.
See, Charles, but you know, they got when there's a job to get done, they got to send a sister to the lion's den. Because, you know, the good Reverend Dr. We Shall Overcome Forrest Claypool ain't coming here to answer no questions about how you going to get on. How you going to stand up here and talk about the racist school? What school does your kids go to, buddy? Look at all the people talking about the racist school system. Their kids don't even go to school.
That's what I'm talking
about. And it's white folks whose kids don't go to school telling us that we should be mad that they, you know.
And you know, and we should also point out too, the Lions are equal opportunity diners. We like white meat, we like dark meat. You know what I'm saying? Right?
Say that one more time.
The Lions like white meat.
Oh, we like white meat, dark meat. You know what?
But it's something about. I ain't gonna
I'm gonna tell you what though. The sisters know how to punch. You know, sisters grab the lion by the tail.
That dog be kind of chewy.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned in to the Talk Chicago 1690 AM. We are talking about racism. Is it the new black in the Democratic Party? By that I mean, good Lord, everything is racist. Everything is racist that they do, but nothing that we live through. Charles, I cannot believe that they are talking about this cartoon still. Now, do you think that what's the governor's responsibility with this cartoon? Do you think?
I mean, you know, he has a lot of people from the Illinois Policy Institute in his office now, and I think that is another part of this thing. They want to try to stain the Illinois Policy Institute to get to him, to call him a racist, because you know that's the thing. Like you've been saying, gotta call him a racist. If you call him a racist, then you motivate that black vote, get them black people all emotional. You know,
I hate to use the term race baiting.
Absolutely.
Right, because to me, race baiting is usually the term that white folks reserve for black activists or black people that are agitators. But I feel like there's some race baiting going on. Here. I want to be clear. White folks are trying to race bait black people. Now let me just say this. I am not a supporter of the Illinois Policy Institute. I am a supporter of conversations and non-groupthink. I would love to have John Tillman come in here. I would love to have every black state rep come in here, every black state senator. Heck, I would love the opportunity to have the speaker and the head of the Democratic Party of Illinois come in here and talk to the black community. He don't even got to come in the Lions Den. Because you know what?
You think he's got the nerve to do? You think he's got the cojones, as they say, to do that? I don't know.
I'm not. First of all,
I don't think he's coming in. He could even bring his boy in here too. Oh, what was that?
Oh, okay. So
what was that?
I did.
Was that a putty cat? I thought I heard a putty cat.
Okay, now look, I got to live around this mug. Y'all, look, I'm already down the path. Y'all trying to get my car started. Look, Charles, you are, just as long as you volunteer to be my car starter, like you, I'm gonna give you the key. You sit in it and turn the ignition.
I'm expendable now. You know, I've done my time.
Guys, I am just. You know what? Dan, go ahead. Go ahead, Dan. You're on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I think Charles made a comment that they're trying to stain the Illinois Policy Institute, but that's not necessary. You don't have to stain them. All you have to look at their record. I mean, I haven't heard you all really go into their record and the things that they've been associated with. Like they're heavily associated with Breitbart News. They're heavily associated with Stand Your Ground laws and initiatives to take funding away from public schools and give it to private schools.
That's the same thing that the people we talked about this.
I mean, we ain't talking about that. I mean, I don't agree with everything the Illinois Policy Institute does, but this cartoon is not racist, brother. Come on, man. Did you see it? I mean, I'm not going to get into all that baggage stuff because that's what we've been into too long. The baggage stuff, and we try to stain people, and we don't want to hear different voices. I want to hear different voices on all of it and let black people make decisions. We're trying to change the paradigm here.
Let's go to the live line. Mark Carter, you're on the Talk of Chicago.
Good morning. First, I want to good morning, Charles. Charles, I want to commend you at your age for having an open mind to not just be this brainwashed baby boomer like most of our parents are. That once they hear someone is racist or they're basically being told what's racist, they're being told what to think is good and bad for us, and they go along with it. They've been going along with it for a long time. But let me say this right here.
Make your point.
Look, no one can be more racist than this Democratic machine here in Chicago that has kept unemployment higher than the damn depression in our community. And we act as if it's normal. A lot of our own people act as if it's normal, and they want you to look at this so-called white racist Republican. There are no white racist Republicans in Chicago in power. The governor don't even have any power that the Democratic machine can overthrow whenever they choose. In terms of if he vetoes something, they can override the veto because they have all the power.
You are 100% right, Mark. Thanks for calling. I agree. I mean, we don't have the stuff that has happened in our community has not been because of Republicans. I'm not telling you to vote Republican, but I'm just saying, look around. Phil, you got the last call.
Yes, I'm baffled here. I can't believe. Are you black folks working for the Republican and the Klan in Chicago? I haven't listened to WVON in a while, but I'm glad I tuned in because I cannot believe you Negroes are talking like you are.
Next caller, please.
I can't believe you Negroes talking like that.
I love this, man.
I love it.
I love this.
Phil, what are we saying?
Some Negroes said something.
Phil, what are you upset about? What you felt the cartoon was racist?
What I'm so upset about is that the Republican Party has nothing to offer you or me.
What you got? What you got now? What you got right now? I'm not suggesting.
The point is, anytime you are at a Klan meeting, those are Republicans. Those weren't Democrats out there talking about killing us and putting us back in slavery.
I think you got to understand that, I agree with you. Republicans have offered nothing to black people. But you also got to understand that Democrats are offering nothing to black people here.
Can I just say,
you got to understand that. So we got to we got to get in the middle somewhere and be brokers of our own political power. That's what we're saying here.
Brother, I'm not supporting the Democrats or Republicans. Char, you are tuning in to Talk Chicago 1698, and we'll be back after traffic and weather. News traffic.
The talk of Chicago and the voice.
Charles, you got the camera.
I don't believe that any president has accomplished.
Charles, you back on the camera.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's like amazing that we got to get out of this thing. We have political power. We have it. We can turn this next election in Illinois. We can. But we got to position ourselves to make a deal. That's all. And we got time to do it now. We got, well over a year until the next election. We can position ourselves to cut a deal. And I don't know who the deal's going to be with. Maybe it's going to be with the Democrats if they come around and start talking like they got some sense. Stop talking about cartoons and start talking about some jobs and contracts. That's what we got to get. And but I'm going to tell you, if they don't want to do a deal and the Republicans do, I'm doing a deal with them. And if neither one of them want to do a deal, I'm voting. I'm writing in somebody else, somebody I know. I ain't voting for either one of them. Don't give yourself away. And that's what we've been doing. We've been giving it away. We've been giving it away. And we just cannot, we can't continue to do that because you see what it's getting us now. You just got to see what it's getting us now. Highest black unemployment rate in the country, these horrific Chicago public schools, and this blood running red in the streets of our city. The highest effective, black people pay the highest effective property tax rate of any other group. This is what the Democrats have given us. The Republicans aren't anywhere to be seen in Chicago and Cook County. They don't control anything. All that we have or do not have, and do not have is what I should stress, is because of the powers that be. They're not giving up anything to us. So we got to be brokers of our own political power. That's all we're saying on the WVON morning show. And we're going to talk to all sides to cut this deal. Yes, we're going to talk to the Illinois Policy Institute. They can bring their stuff up in here and they can tell us what they think. We're going to be there. We're going to hear it. My brother. Look at now. This brother here. Come here. This brother here. This brother knows about black wealth. This is the primary spokesman for black wealth in Chicago. That's it. Brother Carl West. Truth be told. There you go. Yeah, man. You came in for a donut not to see me? This Negro. I mean, can you believe what he just did? He came in to get a donut. I thought he came in to holler. No, he came in for a donut.
I can always reach you. I can't always reach the donuts, man. What's up, how you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
Trying to keep it.
Charles trying to give it away. Ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned into the Talk Chicago 1690 AM. We are going back. I guess we're going to cancel. We were going to talk about the fight, but Janice Jackson is going to be calling in to discuss this CPS growth. Y'all, this show is getting hot to death. Hot to death. Gotta make it hot tonight. Boy, people calling in. Can we send somebody a tweet to say that we don't black? Can we do like a black tweet storm? Like black people don't think that this cartoon is racist or something? Like, damn. Darnell Emerson said my $50,000 Calumet City home just got assessed for $103,000 by Cook County.
Yes.
In Calumet City?
Right. Now you figure that you're gonna go out, man. This is his life savings. You're gonna go out and vote for somebody that says the property tax system doesn't need to be changed, or there's somebody who says there doesn't need to be a property tax freeze. You gonna vote for somebody like that? I mean, I ain't vote. I mean, if my house is underwater, that's life and death, man. That is like you can't vote for. You gotta have a property tax freeze. And if Browner says property tax freeze, I'm looking at Browner. If JB says no and Browner says yes, or Chris Kennedy says no and Browner says yes, who are you gonna vote for? You gotta think about yourself. Just like being on an airplane. You gotta put your mask on before you save the person sitting next to you. And if you're a homeowner who's underwater, you gotta start thinking about stuff a little differently than the way you've been thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? Yes, they got it out there. They got, black folks out there own homes. That's what I'm talking about. They got to start being protective of what they have owned as opposed to giving it away to, all these assorted taxes.
Free online resources to inform and inspire youth and high school coaches, parents, student athletes, and administrators. Visit PCADEVzone.org. WVON, traffic and weather now.
That brother said he can't believe you Negroes are with the Klan.
Somebody said, man,
the guy said he was.
I can't believe I listen to you Negroes. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Janice Jackson. She is the Chief Education Officer of CPS. She heard I'm telling you, that means everybody listening to the morning show. See that right there? Janice Jackson. Janice Jackson. We were going to talk about the fight, but I guess that's out the window. We got the head of CPS. Y'all ready? Did you see that editorial in the Sun-Times? Oh, it's showing.
About what?
The editorial picture in the Sun-Times today with them kids shooting. I'll show it to you later.
You're listening to The Morning Show with Maze Jackson on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Let your booty do that yoga.
Party at the beach down in Copacabana, sipping killer fish, got my black yoga pants on. Me and Brittany, we've been down in Atlanta, sweating in the club on midnight Diana. Dancing like a yogi, drop it down, put your hands up, do a handstand, lean it back, put your legs up. I ain't got no worries, I'm my own private dancer. My own private dancer.
Tax free! Tax free! Tax free! Boom! No tax! No tax! Will County, baby. Let me see you do me.
Let your booty do the yoga. Crown on my head, but the world on my shoulder. Not too much a rebel, never do what I'm supposed to. Bend and never break it, baby. Watching, I'ma show ya. Stretching in my cash, got my money doing yoga.
You are tuned in to the Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my main man, Charles Thomas, in the building. When you hear that at 8 o'clock, the yoga song, you can best believe Charles is hating to the beat. Hating to the beat, hating to the beat. That's right. Check us out on Facebook Live or on YouTube. That's right. You can go to the Maze Jackson page, the WVON page, and you can watch us live in studio. Shout out to Annette Flournoy as well as Sonia Escobar. Gotta send a quick note to Sonny Means, who was gonna come in to talk about the fight this weekend. But the phone line rang, and let me tell you, Janice Jackson, Chief Education Officer of CPS, is on the live line. Janice, how are you this morning?
I'm doing fine, Maze. And how are you, Charles?
Good morning, Miss Jackson. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Well, thank you for, you know what, first of all, thank you for coming on, Janice. I appreciate it. Now, Janice, you know we share last name. You know you my girl, but why is it that they got you coming out here trying to tell us that CPS is good for everybody but black people?
Oh, mate, now that's because you're not reading between the lines and you're just hearing the hype. So what happened, I would say a week ago, is we talked about the NWEA scores for the entire district, and the NWEA MAP scores are the elementary test scores. And once again, for the past 5 years, our student scores went up across the board for everybody. We've been promoting this. We talked about the UIC study that compared downstate to upstate, where it showed apples-to-apples comparison, that Chicago kids perform better. I've tweeted about that. I've talked about it. So I think that, you know, CPS is doing better for all kids. I think it's a convenient argument, though, for some people to try to pit blacks and Latinos against each other. And that's an argument I reject. If you look at Chicago public schools, 46% of our students are Latino students. That's just a fact. But across the board, our kids are killing it. And the media doesn't want to tell that story. And it's baffling to me, because this isn't about black versus brown, in my opinion. It's about why is it that one of the first times in the nation do we see gains for poor minority students.
Black students. What about black students?
Even black students. Even black students. I'm going to give you some facts on this that people conveniently didn't cover yesterday, but I'm glad you're having me on to do it. But across the board, we're seeing black students do better. The graduation rate is up amongst blacks, every group, not just black females, black males. But that's not talked about because it's an inconvenient truth.
Ms. Jackson.
Because if you believe that, then it's okay not to give our district money. I often ask myself, if the demographics of CPS were different, would we be having the same fight in Springfield? And you and I both know the answer is no.
Ms. Jackson, you have done a tremendous job, you know, making your point. But I got to ask you a question. I got to back up just a second. You saw that cartoon. What was racist about that cartoon?
Let me say what I think about the cartoon. I didn't know we were going to talk about the cartoon.
But I want to hear what you think about it.
What I don't like about the cartoon is it depicts African Americans as caricatures, number one. And we all know the history, and it just was a throwback to things that
What was racist about the caricature of the child? What was racist
about it? That the child is begging for something that they deserve.
So
you're begging for something that you deserve.
You say that every day when you complain about Governor Rauner and those people.
But when you put it out there as a caricature, reporting a story that says that and stating it as a fact is different than making light of it by portraying it in the political.
You don't like editorial cartoons in general, then?
No, I love editorial cartoons. I didn't like that one.
Well, but why not? I mean, what was it about it?
I just explained it.
Okay, so if she's saying that it's not racist, I mean, she didn't like it.
I just wanted to know.
I didn't know what was exactly racist about it
either. Myself.
So let me ask a question, Janice.
Well,
wait. Hold on, Janice.
Let's go back. The Illinois Policy Institute published it. Do you agree, Charles, with their views?
Some of them.
Oh, okay.
Not all of them, believe me. Not all of them, but some of them. Yeah.
Okay.
Janice, I would suggest that I think on this show we don't do groupthink, so we want to make sure that we look and pick through the best ideas to find out who's got them. So I don't think that one side has a license on the best ideas. But let me ask you, do you agree did you see the report in the Sun-Times that 1 in 100 black students went to an underperforming CPS school. 1 in 22 Latino students went to an underperforming school, and 1 in 4 white kids went to an underperforming CPS school. Was that correct in your estimation?
That was accurate, and let me tell you what I thought about that report. First of all, new schools...
Wait, it was accurate? Yes?
It is accurate. Their report is accurate. We saw the information ahead of time. What they did, let me explain the methodology. They looked at the number of students, and they looked at the school quality performance ratings for those schools. And what they published were facts. Now, what was also covered in there is that the number of students, number of African-American students who attend a poor quality school dropped tremendously over the past 5 years, I believe.
But isn't that because they're getting kicked out of the city, though?
No, because schools improved, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. But let me say, the number decreased, but what is still problematic, as that report pointed out, and I'm glad that report was published so we can have these kind of conversations, is that report pointed out that there's still an achievement gap. Look, I'm an African-American woman. I look at the data for the entire district, and every time I look at a report and I see poor performance amongst African-American students when you compare to other subgroups, that hits me the same way it hits you and every other listener in this station. My job is to do something about it, and I happen to be one of those people that believe that education is the best way to change that trajectory. Are we perfect? No. But what is true, and I want you all to hear this, and I'm happy to send a report, Chicago is the only urban district that is an outlier in student performance and growth. Professor Sean Reardon at Stanford did a study. He can't even explain what's happening in Chicago. And that's across the board for African-American students as well as other subgroups. When you look at the UIC study, they're doing better across the state. I just don't understand why we don't talk about that. And it's not about the mayor or I want to say this last point because this is what matters most to me. It's not about somebody else's agenda. When we don't cover it or give credit, it's disrespectful to the educators and the kids who work their butts off for those schools. That's why I'm so passionate about it.
Ms. Jackson, you guys have done a great job with the National Teacher Academy. How do you justify closing a school like that that's overachieving with predominantly black children? How do you justify that?
Yeah, the history of NTA, National Teachers Academy, and South Loop is one that's very storied. And, you know, I'm sure you guys know that covering Chicago schools and politics and all of that stuff for the past, you know, however many years. You know, when the school was first built, you know, you had the Harold Ickes homes.
I know that, but Janice, we got a little bit of time. There are children in that school right now that you want to move. How do you justify
how to justify it, and then you cut me off when I justify it. So tell me which one you want me to do.
I want you to get to it quick.
Okay. So the history of story. The boundaries for NTA for South Loop were redrawn in about 2009. They were redrawn so that students who live primarily in the Hilliard homes and the Long Grove homes would have to go to NTA and no longer go to South Loop, which had previously been their neighborhood school. Now, people can call that whatever they want to call it. I call it wrong. So when the new South Loop building was approved, one of the first things I wanted to do personally was right that wrong. Of course, that complicates things because if you redraw those boundaries and kids have access to the new South Loop building, which the parents have asked for, not all of them, but some, that posed the issue of what do we do about NTA, and then, you know, we came to this planning process. But let me say this. We have not made a recommendation to the board yet. We plan to make one, but this is our final until the Board of Education makes a decision. What is different, though, and I want credit for this, we have never engaged community this early on any kind of school action in CPS history. We always followed the guidelines October 1st, make a public statement by December 1st, and the board votes on it after 2 public hearings and 1 boundary.
So there's a chance that school will not be closed. If you're saying there's still a chance.
We haven't made a recommendation to the board yet.
Beautiful.
We made a recommendation to the community that we've been taking feedback on. And let me say this, Charles, the original plan that we put out has been modified. We wanted to do this as a big bang in 2018, and we heard from people that wasn't right. So the most recent proposal we have on the table is this, that if we decided to transition NTA from an elementary school to high school, students who are currently second graders, starting in second grade next week, could stay in NTA throughout their elementary school career as well as their high school career, which is a choice for many of those students because not all of them get into, you know, selective enrollment schools like students in the regional gifted centers do.
Janice, so let me just say, first of all, I hate that you always have to come up here and deliver the bad news. But I'm just going to say, and I think that you should tell the good Reverend Dr. Forrest Claypool, because we got questions. You tell him we got questions for the good Reverend Dr. We Shall Overcome, claiming racism while you send your kids to somebody else's school that don't have to deal with the same issues. Look, you ain't saying it, I'm saying it. So I want you to go back and say, May said. We want him to come into our office and talk to us about it. Because I'm going to tell you, it bothers me that I got to have this conversation with you. Because I know you're on the front lines trying to fight for our kids. And so you got to go out here and march and tell us this story. But I'm telling you, we're seeing something completely different, Janice. When we talk about these kids at NTA, when we talk about this $55 million moving away from our community that could be going to schools and saving them, and it's going to Navy Pier, and then they march out and tell us that the growth is great for you if you are a non-English speaking student, and they say how the record growth in the Latino community, and there's a couple bright spots in the black community. We got some real questions, Janice, and I don't think that they can all be answered by you. And so we gonna let you off this one, but I'm gonna tell you, you got to tell the good Reverend Dr. We Shall Overcome Claypool, he needs to come in the Lion's Den. And I'm gonna tell all the listeners out there, NTA is not done. So you need to be tweeting, emailing, sending Pat Dow, send Janice, send good Reverend Dr. Forrest Claypool, send them all a note. Let them know how you feel, Janice. I appreciate you even being able to get me.
I appreciate you too.
All right, thank you, sis. And if you got anything else, you can call us. You make sure you do. All right.
See you later.
All right, bye-bye. Now, ladies and gentlemen.
Now that's sister's about it, man.
And she was ready. And
I love her, man. I really do.
That's why it ticks me off, Charles. Why she can't run the whole joint.
That's what I'm talking about.
We gonna put her in charge of the education, but give the Reverend Doctor the bag.
Back to running buses.
He get the bag. Janice get to deal with all the craziness, and he gets to hire his friends from the suburbs to come in and get waivers to make money while he is holding our black kids up like bulletproof vests. Ladies and gentlemen, I done got hot on this radio. And it ain't even funny.
We're going to talk about the fight tomorrow.
Charles, you know what? We all going to talk about the fight. You going to get the fight, man?
No, I ain't going to buy it. Man, the kid might be over in 2 minutes.
Nah.
$125 to watch that?
Charles, you got that, Charles. See, man, you said you wanted to give away your money. Give it away.
I ain't got it yet. I ain't won the lotto. I got a ticket, but I haven't won yet.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, you talk about somebody. I got to take a breath, Charles. Because I'm telling you, I really don't want to go in on Janice, man. But I'm just saying, they can't keep sending the sister in here. They go commit the acts. And then send the sister in here to come talk to the brother.
They just saying Ron with a good Reverend Doctor in here.
Come on, Ron. We want to talk to you too. Good Reverend Doctor. We want all the kids to have a future. Every black kid should have a future. I don't think it's fair. Future. Look, man. I'm through. Ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned in to the Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. For Annette Flournoy in the newsroom, for our musical conductor of the Soul Plane, that's right, Miss Sonia Escobar. We even gotta, you know what? We even gotta send a shout out to Todd, the producer, man. You know how to give him a little love. And Sonny Means, who does our sports. Charles, I was looking forward to sitting down with Sonny. Maybe we'll get him in here tomorrow so we can discuss the fight. But, ladies and gentlemen, throughout the rest of your day, you got a question, you got a comment, you better ask them what's in it for the black people. And if they got a problem with it, you know what you can tell them? You can tell them, May said. We out of here. Peace.
Live from the WVON newsroom.
Oh, that's good, boy.
She got her sister on, boy. Right. She was like, oh no. She like, what was Bernie Mac's statement? I'm not playing with you, mo.
I'm not playing with you, mo.
Jan's like, y'all not finna come on this radio and play with me.
Oh, I love my people, man. This is the best job in Chicago. Best job in Chicago.
And no, Mary Datcher, that cartoon was not racist.
Hey, cause there's no way in the world that cartoon's racist. You need to just Google racist.
Jeanette
cartoons.
Braids.
That's all I say.
National Teachers Academy came to us and talked about it. If you got a school that's on the list, speak on it, right? That's what we here to do. We here to highlight and illuminate the issues. Don't hate on what they doing. Just be like, yo, tell me what your story is. Send it in. They worked. They went out. They was like, yo, here's our story. This is what's going on. I can't find them all. So please don't hate on what happened for National Teachers Academy. Just tell us how we can be helpful to you too. All right, who else out there? Mary, I have no kids in CPS anymore. I can't afford to gamble on when they're going to start. Now, I had kids that went to CPS. My daughter went to CPS from kindergarten all the way through high school. And after my son was in a class with 35 students, I had to pull him out. But I still pay property taxes. So guess what? Can I get a rebate on my property taxes? Then I don't got to ask nothing about you. If I don't have to pay no property taxes, then I'm happy to not ask you about CPS. But if my money going in, I want to know what the return on my investment is. And the fact of the matter is, we know that $50 million got stolen, and it didn't get stolen by black people. Look, Barbara Bird Bennett got some money to go to the boat. She in the clink. She in the clink.
The last $2.
She got the last $2 to go to the boat. And y'all, man, bro, y'all got, it's like, sometimes we can't be so smart that we, like, the Illinois Policy Institute is no different than the Can I tell y'all something? I know, Jeanette. It's all love. I appreciate you, sis. I'm just saying, if you got something else you want to tell us about, just tell us, and if I can help, like, this is not my mic. This is our mic. This is the mic of a direct pathway to the community to raise the issues. We may not agree, but we always want to talk about it if it's going to help, particularly if it's going to help black people and help our black kids. Whew.
Yeah, man, that shit got wild. That shit got wild.
Wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow, wow.
I ain't scared of you, motherfucker.
That's what it was. I ain't scared of you, motherfucker. Wow, wow, wow. When I'm with you, all I get is wild thoughts. I guess my question to black folks that think that we tripping is, what? Show me the benefit. All I'm saying is, guys, you hurt yourself by taking away your negotiating power, right? See, my thing is all about negotiating power, right? Being able to leverage something. When you say, oh, we already on board, don't nobody got to ask you what you think, right? Nobody in politics, if you are, the last thing you worry about is the people who are voting for you. You know, you ever notice on elections, they always talk about the undecideds? That's why. Because they don't, if you already made the decision, I don't need to talk to you, whether you decide to do Democrat or Republican. And once you've done it and you've made your mind, stats show that you don't flip. So, all I'm suggesting to you all is, understand the game. It's like everybody want to be so informed on their opinion or on the policy, but you don't get to make no policy if you don't win. Like, black folks are happy with moral victories. Moral victories get you the black community. Woo! And I'll tell y'all something else. Y'all thought those... Oh, I ain't going to tell you about them schools. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. I know y'all think we crazy, but what we really want you to do is be able to have leverage. We want you to be able to leverage your vote. UNO leaders, check this out, Chaparral. UNO leaders lobbied black elected officials who all signed off on them getting $120 million. That's a very deep story I could tell you one day. Ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago 1690 AM. I am Maze Jackson. That dude over there.
Yo, man, we had a good one today. Had a good one, man. Had the conversation. I love it. Had the conversation.
Y'all sound like Republicans.
I just want to have a conversation.
Peace out, y'all. YouTube, take a moment, share the broadcast.
Yeah, man. They said, man, they don't